Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich with another Tarot Talk Tuesday. Today we are going over the Five of Wands, and let's go ahead and get the particulars out of the way. If you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button right down there. Hit that bell notification because maybe YouTube will let you know when I have a video release. Hit the like button if you like these videos. Hit the dislike button if you dislike these videos. If you dislike these videos, leave a comment and let me know why. All the rest of you who like these videos or are neutral to these videos, if you have anything to say, say it in the comments. I do read all the comments. Um, let's see. Yeah, hit those likes and dislikes because it appeases the algorithmic gods. All hail the algorithmic gods of YouTube. I think I may have to make a shirt with that on there. All hail the algorithmic gods of YouTube. Anyway, let's get into the Five of Wands. Boy, that was fairly quick of an opening there. 1 minute down. Okay, let's pop our card up there. There it is, the Five of Wands. Let's get our pictorial key of the tarot by A.E. Waite. Let's get that on up there, and it reads, a posse of youths who are brandishing staves as if in sport or strife. It is mimic warfare, and here too correspond the divinatory meanings. That's weird that he did it that way. Okay. Divinatory meanings, imitation, as for example, sham fight, but also the strenuous competition and struggle of the search after riches and fortune. In this sense, it connects with the battle of life. Hence, some attributions say that it is a card of gold gain opulence. Okay. I am going to stop there for a second. I don't see this as a card of gain or opulence. Certainly not gold. That would be more of a Pentacles reference for me. So, sorry, you may have literally written the book to go with this deck, but no, I don't agree. Reversed, litigation, disputes, trickery, contradiction. Okay. I don't think I entirely agree with that. Let's get rid of them. Okay. Let's make this on bigger. And as per usual, there are a few things that I wish to go over. And again, I hit the wrong buttons there. Buttons. Who's got the buttons? Okay. So, first things first. Oh, jeez, it's not going to let me. Okay. Whatever. Where's it at? There it is. Okay, first things first that I want to focus on is the suit of this card, which are the wands. So, we have 5 wands. We got wands everywhere. Yeah, you know what's going on in this card. But they are chaotically sporadic. This is from my notes. So I have written down. They are chaotically sporadic in the air. The passions run wild. Remember, wands are about passions. They're about the things that fuel us, that fuel into our emotions. Again, everything starts with a thought, an idea, the air quality or the air element, and then our passions get fueled and they start burning brighter and brighter, and then we cool off those passions or we push through those passions to emotions where we end up loving, and we're not just in lust, but we're in love, that type of thing. And then that goes to a more stable physical reality in the earth element. Just a quick synopsis of how I view the elements and how they interact with one another. Okay, so knowing that the wands in this deck, as in many tarot Rider-Waite-Smith clones, for me, usually in my practice, wands are air, but in tarot it's fire. Whatever. It's the whole Golden Dawn thing. Nothing wrong with it, just not how I've ever seen it before in my practice. Anyway, what we have here is passions are running wild. You see some serious faces on these individuals. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But the passions are running wild. They're up in the air. Everybody's doing something. The wands are just going everywhere. So, passions are running wild. I don't know how else to go beyond that. So we're just going to move on. I have no tradition or transition for this, so I take a small bow. Okay, next thing we are going to talk about the people. Everyone is holding a wand. All are determined. Look at the faces on these individuals, the ones that you can at least see. Look at these faces. This guy, and of course you can't see my cursor. The person on your left, I guess if you're watching it this way, yeah. The person on the far left is holding the wand straight up. He, they kind of has a smile, like a little smile on their face. The one in the reddish purplish tunic, the second one in, has like a determined look. He is determined to hit somebody, or at least strike somebody else's wands. The one in the dead center is fairly determined to be swinging that wand around. The next one above the person whose face you cannot see kind of looks bewildered, but still determined in a way. And you can't really see where his hand is, but it's actually in follow the hands to the wands. It's kind of weird how their hands are placed and whatnot. But everybody except for the first one, they all have, for the most part, a determined look on their face. They're actually trying to be a little bit forceful. Oh my gosh, can I get this? I can't do anything straight, guys. Y'all. Still trying. Because screw the patriarchy. Anyway, next thing I want to look at is the ground. And tell me... Nope, it did not save. Son of a gun. It appears I do not have it. Okay, so we're going to move on from that. Basically, I wanted to point out the ground here. Let me just bring up the unaltered picture. So the very bottom of the ground that they are standing on is solid. So they have a solid footing. They're not on a boat. They're not rocking around. They're not teetering on something. They're not trying to balance. They're clearly standing, and by the looks of all their footing, are pretty stable in their footing, at least from a fighting stance. So they are in a stance that they are ready to fight. So they have solid footing, good footing. They all have a good standing in their own way. In their own way, by that I mean, one is standing with their backs towards us. Looks like there's a little bit of a slope. So they're standing in a way that puts the most advantage for them. The one towards the top millish, it's hard to, the pink, purple, reddish tunic person, they have a solid footing towards the peak or the summit, the flatter area of this little hill, but they still have a solid footing to be able to swing that wand down. So in their own way, they have a solid footing. They have a solid ground of standing that they are on. And then I want to talk about the action, because this is where it all comes together. And tell me I don't have that one. Yes, I do. There we go. Okay. Now, it's hard to draw on a card to show what action you are talking about. And I'll get into that here in a second. The action. Everyone is appearing to argue, but none are being hit. So if I blow this up again, every single one of them seems to be determined to kind of hit the other, or at very least to be part of this skirmish. However, not one of them is actually being physically hit. All the wands are hitting other wands. Now, if you have a wand that is like twice the size of your entire body and twice the size of everybody else's body around you, you're bound to hit them, with minimal effort. I mean, I am not a traditionally trained fighter of any sort, but even I, whenever carrying a staff, am pretty freaking deadly with it. So for these individuals to be all playing around and passions running high, that not one of them has actually sustained a bodily injury of any sort, says a lot to me. So, what does this mean in the upright position? In the upright, you may... Hold on. Let me try that again. You may be in the middle or in the midst of a battle, competition, having a hard time moving forward. You don't feel heard. Everyone is arguing, but nobody is listening. This card encourages group discussion. Learn to accept, enthusiastically approach, work together with each other. There is no one correct view here. Each one of them is arguing, and in a strategic manner. They're not combating with swords or anything like that. This is clearly an amateur skirmish. However, emotions are still running high here, as you can see in the determination of most of these individuals. So in this situation, when this card would come up for me, I would say that, are you having squabbles with people? Passions are running high. Passions are a little chaotically sporadic here. Have any of you thought to let the other person complete their sentence instead of trying to talk over them and telling them why they're wrong? If this was coming up in a reading, that's what I'm going to probably say to you. Have you talked this through? This is a skirmish, like I said before. This is a battle that is not going to necessarily have a clear winner, basically because there is no defined winner here. These are those arguments like, pineapple on pizza. Does it belong? Absolutely freaking yes, it does. These are the types of conversations that there is no clear yes or no. It comes down to how somebody sees things and how their points of view relate to their everyday life, or their own anecdotal evidence that they bring to the table. So there's going to be no clear viewpoint here, and this card should be telling you, hey, maybe you should see things from somebody else's perspective. Listen to them for a minute. They might be right. Maybe, just maybe, they could be correct in a way to go further in this discussion. So don't be afraid to hear somebody else's point of view, whether you think they're wrong or not. Again, this is for minor battles. This is not a are we on the right side of history type thing, because there are certain yes-no factors to that, in my opinion. But then again, this could be a Five of Wands moment where we can argue about that. Anyway, Let's look at, and I just put that away. Let's look at the reversed. In the reversed, this conflict is all turned inward. This is a conflict of changing minds. When you have a clear stance on something, there will be something to change or to challenge it. You may be trying to avoid conflict. These are the internal battles that you have with yourself. These are the internal situations like, let me find an example here. Coming out. Currently in the end of June right now, whenever I'm recording this, still in Pride Month. This could be your internal struggle of, is it okay for me to be gay? And part of you says, yes, I really like, yeah. Or I really like, anyway. Kitties, yes. So these could be those internal struggles, but everything that you've ever heard all of your life up until that point was, it's not okay to be gay. But you are slowly accepting within yourself that yes, it is okay. It is a natural part of being a human being. Sometimes you like, yeah, that. Anyway, so these are those internal struggles, and I'm surprised this doesn't come up more often for me because there are certain things, political views, social views, stuff like that, that I have questioned within the last 10 years of my life that have basically challenged me to go from like a conservative to a more liberal-minded person. So being in those situations, I'm surprised that this hasn't come up more often for me. But then again, I don't do a lot of tarot readings for myself. Yeah, I like to be surprised, which is a horrible excuse for not doing readings for yourself. But yeah, there it is. You got it. Anyway, that's all that I have for this week's Tarot Talk Tuesday, the Five of Wands. Yeah, I think that's all that I have. Pretty sure that's all I have. I think this might be the last one where you see this background. I think I have like 3 Tarot Talk Tuesdays done in a row. So yeah, I think I'm a little caught up now on doing videos. So, and I have a lot more Table Talk Thursdays that have been pre-recorded. So hopefully you won't see this horrible background any longer, or for much longer, unless you watch Table Talk Thursdays, which there's a good handful of them already done. But yeah, that's all that I have, and then some. Remember, leave a comment, hit that like or dislike button, whatever. All appeases the algorithmic gods of YouTube. All hail the algorithmic gods of YouTube. Until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.